We continue our reading of Lest We Forget, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, August 24, The California Conspiracy. Jesus knew what they were thinking and asked, "Why are you thinking these things in your hearts?" Luke 5:22. Thinking can be a good thing, but it is not necessarily good. That is especially true when it is fueled with conspiracy theories. It was just such thinking that overwhelmed Butler and his friends on the eve of the 1888 General Conference session. The match that set the conspiracy blaze aflame was a late September letter from California pastor William H. Healy to George I. Butler that suggested that the Western leaders, Jones, Wagner, W.C. White, and Ellen White, of the church, had developed a scheme to change the denomination's theology. Before the arrival of Healy's letter, Butler appears to have been emotionally stable. He didn't like the thought of the controverted points on Daniel and Galatians coming up, but the August letters of W.C. and Ellen White had convinced him of the necessity of permitting it. However, it devastated the already tense General Conference president when he received what appeared to him to be news of an organized conspiracy just a few days before the opening of the Minneapolis session. Suddenly, the events of the past 2 years all seemed to make sense to him. The reason the Whites had pushed so hard to get a hearing for Jones and Wagner's new theology was that they were all in it together. Certainly, Butler concluded, here was a conspiracy of the most dangerous type and a threat to Adventism's time-tested beliefs. That reasoning led Butler into a spurt of last-minute frenzied activity as he organized his forces to resist what he saw as the Western coalition by sending off a series of telegrams and letters to the delegates, warning them of the conspiracy and urging them to stand by the old landmarks. Meanwhile, the Whites, Wagner, and Jones, and the other California delegates remained ignorant of the fact that the Battle Creek forces viewed them as conspirators. As W.C. White put it, he was innocent as a goose about the misunderstanding, and unawareness that soon led the Westerners to play unwittingly into the hands of the conspiracy theory advocates. Correct thinking is difficult enough, but when it is tainted with conspiracy theories, it becomes emotionally impossible. We still need to be aware of such thinking and pray for God's grace to be free from it. This concludes our reading today of Lest We Forget.